Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the episode 11 on the colors of beauty and business talk radio, where you can tune in every Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on WEXP 88.3 FM at blogtalkradio.com. My name is Raina Cartel, and I'm your host for the show tonight. I hope you all had a wonderful Friday and are getting ready for this weekend. I know here in Northern California we started with rain already this morning, so please be careful and be safe. So let's start off with giving a shout out to our sponsors, Eon Experience, for having us here tonight, as well as our sponsors, Eon H2O Water. Thank you. And a quick review about what you can expect for the show is a full transparency on the life of an entrepreneur, the good and the challenges of an entrepreneur, being a woman entrepreneur, and how not to get burnt out and stay healthy, the importance of your mindset and how to cultivate it, the importance on different skills and energy you need and how to correlate them when you're an entrepreneur. A guide for aspiring entrepreneurs on critical tools to build your business, and the importance of social media and all the questions that no one tells you about and you're trying to figure out by yourself. Tonight's show is a special one. We have a very, very important guest on our show tonight, and her name is Dr. Tracy Timberlake. And Dr. Tracy Timberlake is a business coach, a digital strategist, an online educator for entrepreneurs. And so I will let her introduce herself to you guys and tell you a little bit more about what she does. Dr. Tracy Timberlake, are you there?
I'm here. Hello. Thanks, everybody, for listening. My name is Dr. Tracy Timberlake, and I am an award-winning business coach. I really got my start in this online space as a YouTube beauty blogger and made a transition to helping women, and men too, but mostly women, understand how to utilize the online space to monetize themselves and their skills. And that is what I do.
Perfect. And I just want you to talk a little bit too. I know that we had met last year when I had launched my cosmetic company.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I remember your facial expression when I had won the tickets to Flourish Media. And so, and I remember really, really manifesting that. And, you know, I totally, and like I said, I felt like, and I still feel today like I won $1 billion by just taking that step to really go to Miami Flourish. And I love
it.
Yes, and we just got back from that. That was June of 2018 last year, and we just got back from Flourish this year and in February in Miami, Florida. And so, if you can touch base a little bit on what is Flourish Media.
Sure. Flourish Media, we are a boutique marketing firm here in South Florida, but we service people all over the world. We have clients in the UK and in South Africa and in Jamaica. And basically what we do is we do a few different things. So one, we service them and really help to train small and medium-sized businesses on how to use digital media to market their services in the world and to go global. But the other thing we do is we like to educate and empower women on how to really become solid brands in the online world. So we host a conference once a year called the Flourish Media Conference here in Miami, Florida. We invite people from all over the country, all over the world really, but most of them are from the States, to come join us for 2 days of branding, visibility, and funding training. But it really is from the inside out, because the Flourish Media Conference, we don't just tackle business stuff. I mean, we have legal teams there and accounting and things like that, but we also do self-care and mental health because we know that all of those things are just pillars when it comes to having a business and being a brand.
That's absolutely right. And, thank you for really clarifying that, because that's exactly what the Colors of Beauty business is all about. I know when I had started my business, I was like all over the place. And so I really didn't have direction on, exactly doing everything. I mean, I knew what I needed to do, but it was like very, very hard for me to kind of have direction on, okay, so this is exactly what you have to do next. And then I continued to find myself like asking questions, and really I had to research everything everywhere. And sometimes I wouldn't even find the answer until I really, really started honing in on exactly, okay, this is what I need to do. And really making sure that I kept and building relationships with the people that actually knew how to do it. So I, that's something, thank you for so much, for creating some, an environment like that, especially over there in Miami, Florida, but also connecting with us here in Las Vegas, and with me now in California, and, expanding that, with our listeners now today, because I feel like, that's something that we definitely need more of. So Another question that I had for you, so I know that you explained how you kind of started, as a YouTuber, and that's how you started there, but is that the same when you, because I know it's not just you for media, Flourish Media, there's more of you, right?
Yeah, so we started off with Vivian Oladin and Sasha Arevelis were the founders of it, and we started this 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago maybe, and it's grown to where it is now, and we're so excited about the trajectory and where it's going to be in the next 3 years.
That is awesome. Now let me ask you another question here. What do you wish you had known before you started your journey as an entrepreneur?
I wish I would have known to start sooner. That's what I wish I would have known. People ask me that all the time, and they're like, what do you wish you would have known? I wish I would have known, one, how much was available and how it doesn't take as long as people think when you're fully present and you don't have all the blockages that a lot of people have when they enter into the space. The reason why it takes some people longer is simply because it's a mindset game, and so the quicker you can get your mind to match the mission, the faster it becomes. And I grew my business very quickly, and I did it, within 8 months, reached a six-figure mark, and had I known that I could do that sooner, I would have. So that's what I wish I would have known. Do it sooner. Don't wait.
Yeah. And it's funny that you say that, because one of the stories that I give with my listeners is it took me 20 years. Oh my God, 20 years. Can you believe that? 20 years to finally say and run with my spirit, entrepreneur that I have. And I find that a lot of people, are so fearful, and they don't take that step. And I feel like, one of the things that I did, I just said, you know what, God, I did my prayer and I asked, and that's one of the things that I'm very, very spiritual, and I said, God, if this is what you want me to do, align the people that you want me to align, to be aligned with, and then let's go. And he said, you know what, Raina, just hold on to your seat, girl, because here we go. And it's been, such a wonderful, I'm not going to lie. There has been, days where it's been really, really tough, but I wouldn't change it for a minute, because I feel like this is how we grow. We have to face fear, and we have to make sure that we just take that leap, So that's something
absolutely
crazy that you said that, like, I wish I would have started sooner myself. I waited 20 years to start this. And so another question that I had for you is, in this journey, have you ever failed as an entrepreneur? And if you have, have you failed in something as an entrepreneur, during this journey? And if you have, what was it?
Good question. I don't know that I like the word fail, because I always tell people, like, you need to fail forward. There's no such thing as failing. Failing means that you stop something. Now, are there things that I've done that didn't work out as well as I thought? Sure. I don't know if they were failures in as much as I think they were just, learning lessons along the way. Thankfully, I will say, and this is something that I really, really pride myself on, is that I rely heavily on instinct and intuition.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a very good one. Okay.
Yeah. So when I have an idea, really, the bread and butter of what I do and just how I operate, I think, as a person, is to go from idea to execution as quickly as possible, because the engagement and the excitement and the momentum is really what will be the catalyst to make it a success. Because when you sit on it long enough, you can talk yourself out of anything, right? And I think that's really where people find the failure, is this just in not doing things. But if you do something, you can't fail, because you're going to learn a lesson, right? If it doesn't work as well as you thought it was, well, then there's something to be learned to either not do again or to switch up for next time. But I've been really fortunate to say that, no, I can't say that I've failed, and and gone for, like broke. But I think it's because of just the ability to execute. And that's always what I tell people is just engage with your ideas, move forward as quickly as possible, because you will find success in everything. There's always there's always a win that can be had in everything, even when it doesn't show up the way that you think it's going to show up.
Ooh, that is a good one. That is a very, I like how you spin that. I never really thought about that like that, and you're absolutely right. As far as, using that word, definitely, I think we're going to have to switch that up here a little bit when we use that word, because you spin that very, very well. And it makes perfect sense when you think about it that way, So now touching on that, when, another question, what are some of the tips, for you, that you've kept to maintain your focus, during these trials and tribulations, when you find yourself in that?
A couple of things. One, investing very heavily in coaches that keep me on track and can see the blind spots before I get them, before I run into them. That is something that I will always, as a coach myself, I don't just say invest in yourself because I'm a coach and I need clients, but I say invest in yourself because it really is the difference between, there's a lot of people interested in what I do. There's a lot of people interested in entrepreneurship. There's a lot of people interested in having their own business, but very few people are invested.
Exactly.
And so I think that's a big thing is having a team of people, a support team, that know my trajectory, see the vision, and are riding that ride with me. That's the first thing. The second thing is really good time management, making sure that I keep a planner. And it's funny because I had a friend that was like, who keeps a physical planner anymore? And I was like, I do, because my entire day, I tell people, when you operate at a high level, it is in the precision. The precision is what matters most. And so I need to be very precise with my time. Every hour is accounted for, even my coffee breaks, even the times that I go to the gym, I write it in my planner so that I know what my day looks like. So those are the two things, having a very strong, high-level support system, and then being just excellent at time management.
That is absolutely great. And you're absolutely right. I found that, I have, apps and stuff, on a digital scale as well. On top of that, my planner, and my planner that I have, I finally found one that actually works for me. But you're absolutely right. You have to make sure that your time management is period point on point, because if you don't, I remember going crazy at times, I don't have no time, but it wasn't because I don't have the time. It's because I wasn't being, consistent and, and holding myself accountable, and so, and that's absolutely right. I think not a lot of people still carry planners, but I still do. Physical planners.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. That's why, even for Flourish, one of the sponsors we really wanted to have was a planner. And thankfully, Passion Planner, was one of our sponsors for the event, because we're we love planners. We need everybody to love planners too.
Yeah, that I totally agree with you. Now let me ask you another question here.
Sure.
So, to date, on your professional achievement, what are you most proud of?
I am most proud of a program that I created 2 years ago called Platform. That is the thing that I'm the most proud of. Absolutely, 100%. I think the women, and there's been a couple of men that have gone through as well, but mostly women, the community that is built there is really amazing, and I constantly get messages from people who have gone through it. I got one today, and she was Platform is over for this year, but she was saying how this is so much bigger than even you probably imagine, and the community that's really built with the camaraderie of the people in there, it's really something amazing. And we just had our Platform Live event here in Miami, where they're from all over, so they come from wherever they come from. They come here. We do a huge live event for them, and they get a chance to share their truth. Some of them for the very first time on the stage, and it's the best thing to date that I think that I've been able to build. I always say that it's the program that God built, and I just get to be the person that facilitates it.
You're absolutely right. One of the things that I was, I'm a nerd when it comes to research and reading and education.
Yeah,
Education is power. And I call myself one of those professional students, because I love completely continuing to educate myself. And I remember reading something, I want to say a couple months ago, where you mentioned the X factor. And that really, really got me to think. And I was like, you know what? She's absolutely right. So can you talk about a little bit about that post about, when you wrote that X factor? I think it had to do with, I want to say Mr. Ford or something like that, the engineer.
Oh, yeah, sure. And there's a lot of stories that I can really draw from, but I think the post, it was on Instagram, and the post that I talked about was how Henry Ford was having a problem with a particular generator or some sort of machine that he had in his factory, and he called in a specialist to come and take a look at it, because all the engineers that he had, they just couldn't figure it out. It was making some weird noise, and they didn't know, where the noise was coming from or how to fix it. And so he called in a specialist, and the specialist came in, and he took a pencil and a notebook, and he goes to where the generator is, and he listens to a little bit, writes down a few things, some computations or what have you, and then he asked for a ladder, and he asked for a ladder, and then he took the ladder, he climbed up onto where the problem was on this particular generator, and he put an X there, and then it ended up being just a very small coil, I think, that needed to be replaced, but no one could figure it out until he came in. And so he sent Henry Ford a bill, and the bill was for $10,000. And Henry Ford was like, well, you put an X on something, and you were here for all of, a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Like, why is it? And this is back in, we're talking about, maybe 8 years ago or so. So $10,000 was a big deal.
Yeah.
And so he asked him to itemize the $10,000, where does the $10,000 come from? And the gentleman, his name was Mr. Steinmetz. He sent him an itemized invoice, and it said, the chalk to make the X, to purchase the chalk was $1, and knowing where to put the mark was $9,900.
I love that.
Which is absolutely true, because it's in that precision, because people can put X's all over that generator, but if you don't know where it goes, it's the ability to pinpoint the exact spot and say, this is where it is. That's the catalyst for change. That's how people knew how to fix it. So he was absolutely right, and, Mr. Ford paid the bill.
Yes. And, now going into your style of teaching for entrepreneurs, when entrepreneurs come up to you, how do you, because I know some of us, a lot of them that apply to work with you, you don't take them all in. Some of them you have to wait on a waiting list. So how do you vet those entrepreneurs?
Well, one of the things that I feel like I'm so blessed in this way, because I make a very strong intention to call in the right people. And I know that they're out there, and I know, I only work with a certain amount of people at a time, and I know that these people are going to be the right people when it's the right time. And really, I have 6 criteria, I would say, for people who are wanting to work with me. I won't work with you unless you fall into one of these 6 criteria. So the first thing is that you need to inspire me. I need to be inspired by what you do. I just don't have an interest in working with people who are not inspirational, because I just think that average is boring. And so my clients are geniuses, and I say that my clients are brilliant, and it makes me want to be the best that I can be for them, so that I can support them in making that brilliance and that genius known into the world. The second thing is that all the clients that I work with have a strong desire to make an impact. They're not just selling T-shirts on a corner. They really want to go into the world and change it and make it a better place. They're not doing it just for money. They're doing it because they want to see the world change, and they want to be a catalyst for that. The third thing is integrity. It's a big deal for me, working with people. It's a core value of mine. Working with people who are of high integrity is a big thing in what I look for a client. And then the fourth thing is commitment, that people need to know what true commitment looks like. Because like I said, people they underestimate how long it takes to build a business, and they think it's going to happen in a week, and it's not, right? So you need to be committed to the cause, because if this is your purpose and this is your calling, then it doesn't go away if something doesn't work out in the first 30 days, right?
Absolutely.
So you need to know what commitment looks like. And typically the people that I work with do. They have overcome great challenges in their life, whether they overcame weight loss or they overcame depression or anxiety or a divorce or they got some sort of advanced degree. Like, they know what commitment looks like because it takes a long time to achieve those things. Number 5, fun. Like, I am a fun person. I love to have fun. And I think that living the life that you're called to live, walking in your purpose should be fun. So that's nothing. And then the last thing, the last criteria that I look for is gratitude. Be a person who can find the ability to be thankful even when things are in the best spot. We should always have something to be grateful for. So that's always what I'm looking for when it comes to working with people.
That is amazing, Tracy. And then that's exactly why, I believe it sets you apart from a lot of the other business branding strategists, that are out there.
Thank you.
And because I know that one of the biggest thing that, I have another, one of my other biggies, I call her my biggies, is Mrs. Alicia Houston from San Diego, California, which is, and so love her to death. But one of the things one of the things that she had said at one point was, you need to make sure that you seek, basically you're vetting, your coaches, your people that you hire, because you have to make sure that they're qualified for you. And that's something that, like I said, I can appreciate what you just said, because I absolutely agree with that at 100% on every level. So
thank you.
You're welcome. And so another question that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ask you is now, what is one of the biggest mistakes that you see entrepreneurs make?
There's so many. I feel like there are so many. So it's like, there's so many. Okay, the first one I think is most people don't understand the difference. Oh gosh, there's just so many. I'm like, what do I even go with? Most people don't understand the difference between a hustler and an entrepreneur.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Or an entrepreneur and a CEO.
That's a good one, yes.
Right, I think that's the difference, is that people have a negative connotation or a negative association with the word entrepreneur, because a lot of the entrepreneurs that they have heard about are not really entrepreneurs, they're just hustlers. And there's nothing wrong with being either or, it's just you have to know which one you fall into. So a hustler is like somebody who, they use their skill, absolutely. Like, they may do hair, or they may, be a personal trainer or something like that. That is a hustler, and they have a hustle, which is great. An entrepreneur is somebody who owns the hair salon, who owns the gym. Like, that's the difference. The entrepreneur is looking for consistent income and income that doesn't require them to always be present. They're looking for other methods like passive income, multiple streams of income, and not just one.
Yeah.
And then a CEO, and then the difference between an entrepreneur and a CEO is a CEO really wants to run an entire team, and everything doesn't, again, require just them. Like, they're thinking more on a massive scale, or how can I just be the manager of all of these things? How can I just execute from a high position on all these things? So that's the difference, I think. One of the differences one of the common mistakes is people go into entrepreneurship and they think that they're an entrepreneur. Really, they have the mentality of a hustler, which is fine, but you just have to know the difference between them.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. That's a good one as well. Now, what can we expect from Mrs. Dr. Tracy Timberlake and Flourish Media for 2019?
Oh, so many things. I have so many speaking engagements on my calendar. I think every month I'll be in a different city. So let's see, what month is it today?
Because I know you just came back from Jamaica, right?
Yeah, we just came back from Jamaica. We did. Flourish came back from Jamaica because we have a client there, and we organized some things for a very high-profile client and some music artists and a photo shoot.
Hey, yes.
Right, so we were down there. Let's see, in May. Well, here in Miami, I'll be speaking in a couple of different places in the next couple of weekends, and then like ColorCom is a big one that's coming up, so I'll be doing a ColorCom event, which is great because I love that organization, and I'm so glad to be a part of it. And then Flourish will be in Cincinnati, and then I will be speaking in Las Vegas, and I'll see you there, right, I think?
Yes, ma'am.
Will I see you there?
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am.
Las Vegas, and then Flourish, the whole team will be there as well. And then we have Atlanta coming up, and we have Texas coming up, and we have DC. I'll be speaking in DC. So just a lot of, this is kind of the time where because the conference is over, this is the time where we travel, both as a group and then separately. So Sasha was just in Panama, and so we're just, we meet up, all of us were in Jamaica. So we meet up, we travel, we speak in different places. I know that Vivian has a book coming out. I have a book coming out.
Hey, yes.
A lot.
Congratulations.
Yeah, Thank you. Well, it's a process, but we're working very hard to get that done. And then, of course, I'm a course creator, so I have a lot of courses and programs launching in the next, 3, 4, 5 months.
Nice. So another question I had for you is, what influenced you the most when you achieved your growth now today? I mean, it could be a blog, a post, a person, podcast, episode. I mean, what are some of the, what influenced you the most?
What influenced me the most? I don't know if there's like one person that influenced me the most. I think it was just a collective of possibility. Like seeing other people really define success on their own terms and create a life that they wanted was really inspirational to me. There's nobody's life that I look at and I'm like, I want that. But the fact that they're doing it made me go, you know what? That's awesome. And I'm going to create something for myself that makes me feel the way that person over there feels. So, of course, there are the people in the online space. Marie Forleo was a big catalyst for me in the beginning because she was the first person that I was like, oh, she's on YouTube. I'm on YouTube. She's doing that. I can do that. So she was like the first person that I ever encountered. And there have been so many people since then. So I'm just so thankful for where the industry is and now, where it's going, and how people are showing up for themselves and for the world. So all of that inspires me and influences me.
Nice. Okay, so where can my audience, find you, Dr. Tracy Timberlake? Because I know we're coming up here on a wrap here, and so I want to make sure that you definitely tell our audience where they can find you.
Okay. Yes, you can find me. My website is drtracytimberlake.com, and then you can find me on all social media. Instagram is probably the easiest because you just look up my name, so Tracy Timberlake, and then I'm just at Tracy Timberlake everywhere.
Perfect. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start winding down, Tracy, and then we can go ahead and go back on a phone call really quick. Hold on just 1 second. Now, if you guys would like tool guides and tips and tricks on what we talked about today, as well as any other episode that we have done to organize your time and help you as an entrepreneur, please definitely go to www.colorsofbeautybusiness.com. I will be releasing dates on a guide that actually I am currently writing to help you succeed in your entrepreneurial journey, and that will go directly into your inbox. Our speaking notes on tonight's show will be available to download on my site at www.colorsofbeautyinbusiness.com. And I want to thank everybody that took the time today to listen to our podcast on the Colors of Beauty in Business. Stay tuned for many more topics of a full transparency of the life of an entrepreneur and future upcoming guests. With your host, Raina Cartel on Colors of Beauty in Business on 88.3 FM. Thank you guys, and good night, and have a safe weekend.